Well, now we can start the main part of this lecture, where we will see two different models of payment under the performance payment model, which actually to some extent related to the last question we have seen in the last part. We have in one case actually, in the first case actually, the performance is rather fixed. In the other case, it is varying. And we actually also model worker in this case and look to, and of course, we are assuming that performance of the worker is perfectly measurable. And we see that different payment models workers can get. Again, workers get more utility if they got higher wage and if they got a less effort, basically. And these are the utility curves of the workers. Well, usually after as you get more and more wage, basically, the workers tend to rather decrease the effort level. So utility curve has a increasing slope. So because as we got more wage, in order to increase effort level, you need to have increasing amounts of wage, basically. And note that U1 has the lowest utility level. If you go down, wage gets smaller. If you go left, effort gets smaller. If you go down, when wage gets smaller, and if you go right, when effort gets larger, then utility decreases. So in order to increase utility level, you either need to increase the wage, so you go up, or you need to decrease the effort level, you go left. Okay. Well, this is the way, the formula you see is a way to measure the productivity level or product produced by the workers. So V is independent factors, A is the effect of effort, and E is the effort level. Well, in some cases, as I said, effort level is really correlated with quantity level. In other cases, basically, V may become a large factor and a changing factor. If V is a changing factor, then you need to independently detect the effort level. If quantity and effort of worker is correlated, then quantity, you can just check the quantity produced by the workers or quantity of the tasks done by the workers. So this is the first graph where actually where we have a fixed wage, which is V, and there is a effort level that is also fixed, which is A1, E1. So if effort level is E1, actually, usually the workers will show a little bit more effort than E1 to be on the safe side. But in an extreme case where they can set exact effort level, they can set it at the E1, since that's the minimum level. And TR is the total revenue, by the way. Total revenue is price times quantity. So if E1 is correlated with the quantity, it might be very well this area, basically. The quantity and the price. Of course, W is we assume we assume, of course, I mean this wage level, the y-axis also correlated with the price, and wage, of course, the wage level can be set not necessarily through the per quantity or per effort, basically. So this W cannot be multiplied with anything visible on the graph. Rather, we basically, we can find an area that represents the total revenue, which is actually this rectangle. However, we cannot find easily, as long as certain things are fixed, we cannot find as easily a certain, let's say, a certain quantity that is multipliable by them on the graph. But assuming that W is per effort level here, so in this case we assume the contract fixes a wage which is a bit large W, but if we divide that large W to the minimum effort level, we get V. In that case, V is actually the wage our worker gets per effort level. In that case, this rectangle will become the wage paid to the worker, and this area above V, below the price, is the profit of the company. Well, workers who work less than the E1 will be fired in this case, but they have little incentive to go beyond E1 to E2. So TR minus V represents the revenue minus wage paid, total revenue minus wage paid, basically. And of course, we also need to subtract the non-labor costs, but we might assume here they are negligible. So this is the first model, which actually just makes the workers to work just above a certain performance level. The second one actually encourages workers with different utility levels to set their own performance level. In this case, wage is related to the performance, and as the effort level increases, the wage increases, basically. However, there is a difference between wage paid at different effort levels compared with the total revenue that is earned at different effort level. By the way, this line might also show the total revenue level. It's possible in that case total revenue will be total revenue minus wage, basically. You might just calculate it on the y-axis. And here actually we might just assume this is the case, maybe on this graph. In this case, actually, the wage is this is a specific case where increase in total revenue and increase in the wage level is exactly the same. However, from our workers, a certain amount of money is taken before our workers start to work for the company. That money is called B. So the workers start working with when they just start working, they have actually lost money, money that is equal to B, which is called so that money that is paid is called performance bond. But the more they work, the more they earn money, and in the end they can get actually positive amount of money if they work to put enough effort. And in some cases, in this case, basically, I mean, after passing that effort level, they will get a positive amount of revenue. In this case, basically, for each worker, the effort level will be different, and it will depend on at which point this wage line is tangent to the utility curve of the worker. In this case, it is tangent at C, because if it is tangent to a utility curve at a certain point, that means you cannot get above that utility level. Of course, in this case, effort level will be basically fixed by the workers. So it will be different for different workers. It might be a good, let's say, a good case for, well, when you want your workers to choose their effort levels and you are okay with having variable effort levels, and there, in this case, there can be some hardworking and relatively low-working workers. Well, in some cases, if the workers don't trust to the effort supervision, I mean, they think the effort level cannot be measured properly, as well as if this effort level is measured through the product number of products that are being produced, and number of products also depend on some other factors, or even, I mean, they might think there can be certain conditions in the workplace or around the workplace, or their peers or their family conditions, which might basically, in some cases, decrease their efforts. Getting an average wage which is constant by fixing a minimum effort level might be better than for them compared with the performance payment model. So workers may very well prefer the first model. Even the more productive workers might prefer that model. And this model might create, as I said, distrust for the workers, and they might also think that this model is risky, basically. Okay. And actually, the model itself that's one interesting aspect of it, is decreasing risk for the company, because in this case, even if the workers produce nothing or they don't show any effort, the company is getting B per worker, an amount of revenue which is equal to B, and especially if this B is related to the productivity, the actual production of the workers. If something is actually making the workers not produce anything, I mean, if there's a problem that reduces the productivity of the workers, in that case, workers will be the ones that are actually suffering from this, not the employer in this case, because the employer already gets the B as its revenue, even if production is zero. That's the case when, of course, the wage is the measurement of effort is basically done by measuring the number of goods or services produced by the worker. Well, in other cases, even if what they produce is zero because of outside conditions, if they show some effort, and if that effort is measured by the company, still the company might need to pay them pay the workers according to their performance. Okay. Well, as I said, workers are sometimes risk adverse. As a result, in some cases, companies might also have a hybrid method by starting from a W0, having a minimum wage paid for the workers. And as they show a better performance, they might increase their wage above this performance level. Sometimes academic institutions also do this. Okay, we will continue in the next part. See you on the next parts.